Did you know that over 62% of people who move to a new UK city in 2025 say they already regret it? Rising rents, job cuts, crime rates, and endless traffic are turning once-loved cities into living nightmares. People who dreamed of a fresh start are now desperate to escape. But what went so wrong? It's not just London's sky-high prices anymore. Cities that were once labelled hidden gems are now topping the charts for frustration and disappointment. Imagine moving somewhere for a better life, only to find you're paying more, earning less, and feeling unsafe walking home at night. From soaring housing costs to declining quality of life, these 10 cities have become the biggest relocation regrets of 2025, and some of the names on this list will truly surprise you. So before you pack your bags or sign that lease, you might want to stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which UK cities to avoid and why so many people wish they'd never moved there. Number 10. Cardiff. Cardiff, the proud capital of Wales, sounds like the dream, doesn't it? A vibrant city by the bay, full of music, sports, and Welsh charm. But in 2025, many newcomers are realizing the reality doesn't quite match the postcard. While Cardiff has heart, it's also struggling to keep up with its own growth. Public transport is a constant headache, with buses running late and train connections that seem allergic to being on time. And if you're thinking of driving, prepare for endless roadworks and rush-hour traffic that can turn a 10-minute journey into a 40-minute ordeal. Then there's the housing crisis. Cardiff's rental market has exploded. Average rents are up nearly 14% since last year, while wages haven't followed. Locals complain that affordable flats vanish within hours, leaving many young professionals priced out and frustrated. Job opportunities, limited outside government and education. Many residents say they feel stuck, unable to find growth without leaving the city they love. It's beautiful, it's friendly, and it's got culture. But living here full-time feels like waiting for a promise that never quite arrives. For many, Cardiff is a weekend wonder, not a long-term home. And as more residents pack up for Bristol or Birmingham, one thing's clear: Cardiff's charm alone isn't enough to stop the regret. Number 9. Glasgow. Glasgow, the beating heart of Scotland, famous for its humour, creativity, and unstoppable energy. But behind that warmth lies a growing frustration that's driving residents away in 2025. Let's be honest, Glasgow's people are some of the friendliest you'll ever meet. But even they're losing patience with rising costs, declining infrastructure, and a city that feels more expensive by the week. Energy bills have jumped nearly 20% this year. Rents are up and food prices keep climbing. Locals say it's becoming harder to just get by, especially when wages aren't keeping pace. For many young professionals, the city's affordability, once its biggest selling point, has vanished. Then there's safety. Crime levels, particularly petty theft and antisocial behavior, have ticked upward, leaving residents feeling uneasy after dark. Add that to the unpredictable weather and constant housing competition, and the daily grind starts to outweigh the city's famous charm. Glasgow still has its magic, the art, the nightlife, the people, but living there full-time in 2025 feels more like a challenge than an adventure. Many say they still love Glasgow, but they just can't afford to love it anymore. What about you? Have you lived in Glasgow or thought about moving there? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your experience. And if you're finding this list interesting so far, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next cities on the list. Number 8. Leeds. Leeds was supposed to be the northern success story. Booming economy, buzzing nightlife, skyscrapers rising every other month. But somewhere between ambition and reality, things got messy. The city's been expanding faster than its infrastructure can breathe. Trains, overcrowded, roads, gridlocked, and housing, don't even ask. Finding an affordable place here in 2025 feels like trying to win the lottery. Possible, but not likely. For years, Leeds was branded as the next big thing, the place to find opportunity without the chaos of London. But now, locals say it's starting to feel a lot like London, just without the paychecks to match. Rent prices are climbing, restaurants are packed, and the quiet, friendly vibe that once defined the city seems to be fading under the pressure of rapid growth. Then there's the job market. Tech startups that once promised innovation are downsizing. Graduates are competing for fewer roles, and many end up taking jobs they're overqualified for just to cover rent. It's not that Leeds is a bad city, it's just burning out. Too many people, too little planning. The energy is there, but the balance is gone. If Leeds were a person, 2025 would be the year it realizes success came with a price tag. And residents are the ones paying it. Number 7. Nottingham. From above, Nottingham looks like a city straight out of a painting. Old stone buildings, leafy streets, and that unmistakable charm of English history. But once you step into daily life here in 2025, the story changes. Residents say the city feels like two worlds colliding, one full of promise and another struggling to stay safe, affordable and calm. The architecture might whisper elegance, but the streets often tell a louder, grittier story. In recent surveys, Nottingham ranked among the top 5 cities in England for crime, and that's not just numbers, it's a feeling. Locals talk about avoiding certain areas after dark, hearing police sirens more often than church bells, and watching once vibrant neighborhoods lose their sense of security. The irony: housing is still relatively cheap here, but that's part of the problem. People come for affordability, only to realize the trade-off isn't always worth it. The cost of living remains lower than in nearby cities like Sheffield or Leeds, but with rising anxiety about safety, many residents admit they're planning their next move already. Nottingham has heart, history, and undeniable beauty. But in 2025, it also has a shadow it can't seem to shake. For many newcomers, it's a city that feels less like a new beginning and more like a warning wrapped in charm. Number 6. Sheffield. For years, Sheffield was known as the friendly city, a place where people smiled at strangers, rent was affordable, and life moved at a steady, comfortable pace. But in 2025, that warmth is getting harder to hold on to. It's not that Sheffield's lost its soul, it's just struggling to keep up with a world that's changing too fast. The Steel City's once strong job market hasn't fully recovered since the pandemic. Many factories and small businesses that used to fuel the local economy are gone, leaving behind empty spaces and even emptier wallets. Graduates from the city's 2 major universities talk about a brutal job hunt. Too many applicants, not enough opportunities. Some end up leaving within a year, chasing careers in Manchester or Leeds. And with that, Sheffield loses more of its young energy, the very thing that once made it feel alive. Even nightlife isn't what it used to be. Venues have closed, the once buzzing student scene has quieted down, and locals say weekends feel slower, lonelier. The upside, it's still cheaper than most big UK cities. The downside, many say it feels like a city on pause, waiting for something to reignite it. Sheffield isn't broken, just tired. It's the kind of place you root for, even as you start packing your bags. Number 5. Liverpool. Liverpool has a rhythm, a heartbeat that's louder than any other UK city. Music, culture, football, humour, it's all here. It's the kind of place that welcomes you with open arms and a pint in hand. But lately that warm welcome fades fast once you realise what living here actually costs. And not just in money. In 2025, Liverpool feels like a city stuck between pride and struggle. Locals still love it fiercely, but beneath that pride sits frustration. Jobs are scarce, especially for young professionals. High-paying roles are few and far between, and many residents end up commuting to Manchester or even relocating altogether just to earn a livable wage. Then there's the infrastructure, patchy public transport, aging buildings, and long-standing regeneration projects that never seem to finish. The promise of growth is everywhere, but the delivery, still pending. Crime and antisocial behaviour have also been creeping up, especially in the outskirts. It's not dangerous in the dramatic sense, but it chips away at that sense of safety people once took for granted. And that's the heartbreak of Liverpool, a city full of soul that keeps breaking its own residents' hearts. People don't regret loving Liverpool, they regret believing it could love them back the same way. Number 4. Bristol. Bristol used to be the dream, a creative, free-spirited city with art on the walls, music in the air, and a strong sense of individuality. For years it topped best places to live lists, green spaces, community vibes, great coffee, even better people. But in 2025, that dream has become painfully expensive. The city that once welcomed everyone now feels like it's only for the few who can afford it. Average rent for a one-bedroom flat has shot past £1,600, while local wages haven't kept pace. Young professionals, artists, and even families who gave Bristol its soul are packing up. Not because they want to, but because they can't afford to stay. Traffic has become a running joke that isn't funny anymore. Congestion clogs every major route, public transport is unreliable, and cycling, once Bristol's pride, now feels like a survival sport. What makes it sting even more is the contradiction. Bristol still feels cool. It's vibrant, diverse, and creative. But beneath the murals and festivals lies a harsh truth. It's losing the very people who made it that way. In 2025, Bristol is like a beautiful record stuck on repeat. Everyone loves the sound, but the melody's starting to skip. For many residents, it's no longer best place to live. It's best place to leave. Number 3. Manchester. Manchester, the beating heart of the north, the city that never sleeps, never stops, and never seems to take a breath. Once known for its unbeatable mix of opportunity and culture, it's now becoming the poster child for burnout in 2025. Let's be clear, Manchester still has energy. The nightlife, the music, the football, the buzz, it's electric. But when you live here, that same energy can drain you fast. Locals say the city's constant rush has turned from exciting to exhausting. Overcrowding is a daily reality. The population has exploded, but the infrastructure hasn't caught up. Roads are jammed, trams are standing room only, and housing, practically a luxury. Rents have jumped 11% since last year, and buying a home feels out of reach for most young professionals. Even the job market, once Manchester's biggest draw, is showing cracks. With so many people moving in, competition is fierce, salaries are flat, and living costs keep climbing. What was once London's affordable alternative is now following in London's footsteps, without offering the same rewards. Residents describe a growing sense of fatigue. They love the spirit, but hate the stress. It's a city that feels alive, but not always livable. In 2025, Manchester isn't losing its identity. It's just drowning in its own success. And for many who moved here chasing dreams, reality came with too high a price tag. Number 2. Birmingham. For years, Birmingham carried the title of the next great UK powerhouse. It was supposed to be the perfect balance, cheaper than London, busier than the north, filled with opportunity. But in 2025, that promise feels like it's slipping through people's fingers. On paper, Birmingham has everything: a growing economy, cultural diversity, major investments, and endless development projects. But ask the people who actually live there, and you'll hear a different story. Overcrowded streets, constant construction, and rising crime rates have left many residents drained. The city feels like it's in a permanent rush, but never really getting anywhere. Commuting is chaos. Between pothole-ridden roads, packed buses, and delayed trains, a simple trip to work can test anyone's patience. And when you finally get home, skyrocketing bills and rent hikes are waiting. The average cost of living has surged, while wages remain frustratingly flat. The sense of community that once defined Birmingham seems to be fading too. Locals say the warmth is still there, but buried under stress, noise, and uncertainty. Birmingham isn't collapsing, it's just struggling to keep up with its own ambition. It wants to be a global city, but somewhere along the way it forgot to take care of its people. For many who moved here chasing opportunity, 2025 is the year they realize something painful. Birmingham might be big, but it's not always better. Number 1. London. The name alone still carries weight, power, opportunity, ambition. It's the city where dreams are built. And for many, quietly broken. In 2025, London is still dazzling on the outside, but living here has become less of a lifestyle and more of a survival test. Let's start with the obvious. Costs are out of control. Rent has climbed another 12% this year, with average one-bed apartments easily crossing £2,200 a month. Groceries, transport, even a simple coffee, everything bites into your paycheck. People earning what once felt like good money are now just scraping by. The pressure never ends. Long commutes, crowded trains, and the constant feeling that time itself is always slipping away. For many, it's not just expensive, it's exhausting. And yet, the paradox of London remains. It's still alive in a way few cities are. The culture, the diversity, the endless opportunity, they're magnetic. But for every person making it big, there are dozens quietly realizing it's not the life they imagined. Surveys show 65% of newcomers plan to leave within 2 years, not because they failed, but because they're simply burned out. London isn't a city anymore. It's an experience, intense, iconic, and increasingly unsustainable. In 2025, it's not just the city that never sleeps. It's the city that never lets you rest. So, which of these cities surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts below. Your experiences might just help someone make their next big move. And hey, if you haven't seen our last video yet, go check it out after this one. It's packed with even more eye-opening insights. We pour our time, research, and heart into every upload, so if you appreciate the effort, please support us by hitting that subscribe button. It's just one click, but it means the world to us.